all. Today we will discuss 8th August 2024 Secure Synopsis General Studies 1. Topic is Post-Mauryan Age. Post-Mauryan Age. Okay. First question. The Kushana Empire under Kanishka was a period of great cultural and economic prosperity. Discuss. It's a 10-mark question. Okay. The key demand of this question is to discuss how the reign of Kanishka marked a period of significant cultural and economic prosperity in the Kushana Empire. Structure of the answer. Introduction. Introduce the Kushana Empire and its significance in ancient Indian history. Body. Firstly, mention the cultural prosperity under the rule of Kanishka, patronage of Buddhism, Gandhara and Madura School of Art, convening of the Fourth Buddhist Council in Kashmir under Kanishka's patronage, cultural syncretism, etc. In the second part, write about the economic prosperity under Kanishka, such as expansion of trade and trade routes, introduction of a uniform and standardized coinage system, development of urban centers and infrastructure, etc. Conclusion. Conclude by emphasizing the long-lasting impact of Kanishka's reign on cultural economic landscape. Conclude by emphasizing the long-lasting impact of Kanishka's reign on the cultural and economic landscape of the region and its significance in the broader context of ancient history. Okay. Introduction. The Kushana Empire under Emperor Kanishka experienced a golden era characterized by significant cultural, economic, and political advancements. Kanishka's reign, often dated to the early 2nd century CE, saw the flourishing of trade, art, and religion. This period is marked by a unique confluence of cultures facilitated by the empire's strategic geographical position and the emperor's patronage of various cultural and religious traditions. Cultural prosperity during Kushana Empire. First one is Buddhist patronage. Kanishka's reign is notably associated with the promotion of Buddhism. He convened the Fourth Buddhist Council in Kashmir, which played a crucial role in the development of Mahayana Buddhism. This council led to the compilation and systematization of Buddhist texts, significantly impacting the religious doctrinal evolution. Example, the construction of stupas and monasteries under Kanishka, such as the Kanishka Stupa in Peshawar. Second is art and architecture. The Kushana period is renowned for its distinctive art, particularly the Gandhara and Madura school of art. Gandhara art influenced by the Greco-Roman styles. Greco-Roman styles produced iconic representations of the Buddha, blending Indian and Hellenistic artistic traditions. Second is the Madura school, on the other hand, developed a more indigenous style characterized by robust and sensuous figures, contributing significantly to Indian culture. Third is cultural syncretism. The Kushana Empire's strategic location facilitated cultural exchanges between India, Central Asia, and Mediterranean. This syncretism is evident in the diverse artistic styles, religious practices, and languages that flourished under Kanishka's rule. Example, the introduction of the Bactrian language and the use of the Greek script in inscriptions illustrate the empire's cultural amalgamation. Economic prosperity under Kanishka. Trade and commerce. The Kushana Empire controlled key segments. The Kushana Empire controlled key segments of the Silk Road, enhancing trade between the East and the West. This trade network facilitated the exchange of goods such as silk, spices, precious stones, and textiles, contributing to empire's wealth. Example, the issuance of gold and copper coins under Kanishka bearing inscriptions in Greek and Bactrian. Second is agricultural development. The empire's prosperity was also underpinned by advancements in agriculture. The fertile regions of the Indus Valley and the northern India provided ample agricultural produce, supporting both urban and rural populations. Example, the development of irrigation systems and agrarian infrastructure further boosted agricultural productivity, ensuring economic stability. Sixth is urbanization and infrastructure. The Kushanas established the expanded urban centers, contributing to economic growth. Cities such as Peshawar, Purushapura, Mathura, and Taxila became important trade and cultural hubs. The construction of roads and caravanserais facilitated the construction of roads and caravanserais facilitated trade and movement across the empire. Example, the Karakoram Highway, tracing ancient trade routes. Okay. Kushan Empire. Kushan Empire. You can see the Kushan Empire. Okay, Tamra Parni Kingdom, Pandyan Kingdom, Cholas, Shadavahana Empire, Amravati. Okay, Pradishtana, Kundina, Chamba, Vidisha, Barigasa, Pune, Western Satraps, Ujjain, Sakeda, Patliputra, Mathura, Babarikam. Okay, Kushana Empire. Okay. Conclusion: the legacy of Kanishka's rule is evident in the lasting impact of Kushana art, the spread of Buddhism, and the economic integration of regions spanning from South Central Asia to India. The legacy of Kanishka's rule is evident in the lasting impact of Kushana art, the spread of Buddhism, and the economic integration of regions spanning from Central Asia to India. Okay. Okay, second question. The topic is post-Mauryan age. Examine the contributions of the Shatavahanas to art and architecture, focusing on their patronage of Buddhist and Hindu structures. It's a 10-marker question. Okay. Key demand of this question is to examine and detail the artistic and architectural achievements of the Shatavahanas with a focus on their support for Buddhist and Hindu structures. Introduction. Introduce the Shatavahana dynasty, its historical significance, and the period during which it ruled. Body. First mention the contributions of Shatavahanas to Buddhist art and architecture. Patronage of stupas, construction of rock-cut caves serving as monasteries and prayer halls, development of intricate carvings, reliefs and sculptures, etc. Next, discuss their contributions to Hindu art and architecture. Patronizing the construction of Hindu temples, integrating Hindu iconography and themes in art, documentation of patronage and endowments to Hindu religious institutions, fusion of architectural styles, integrating indigenous and foreign elements, etc. Conclude by reflecting on the significance of the Shatavahana support for religious art and architecture in shaping the region's historical and cultural legacy. Introduction. The Shatavahana dynasty, which emerged in the Deccan region during the 1st century BCE, left a lasting legacy in the art and architecture. As one of the longest ruling dynasties in Indian history, their extensive rule over central and southern India allowed them to become prominent patrons of religious structures, shaping in distinct architectural styles and artistic traditions. Contributions to Buddhist art and architecture. First one is patronage of stupas. First is Amaravati Stupa. This Shatavahana significantly contributed to the expansion and embellishment of the Amaravati Stupa in Andhra Pradesh. This grand stupa, renowned for its detailed limestone carvings, depicted scenes from the Jataka's tales and Buddha's life, showcasing the artistic excellence of the period. Sanji Stupa. The Shatavahanas also patronized this Sanji Stupa in Madhya Pradesh. They contributed to the construction of the great gateways, tornas, and the decorative railings, which are famous for their intricate carvings depicting various events from the Buddha's life. Second is construction of rock-cut caves. First, Nasik and Karla caves. The Shatavahana supported the excavation of rock-cut viharas and chaityas, serving as monasteries and prayer halls. The caves at Nasik, Pandavleni caves, and Karla caves are notable examples. Example, the Karla Chaitya is one of the largest rock-cut Buddhist temples in India, known for its grandeur and the wooden facade. Okay, Ajanta caves, although primarily developed later, the Shatavahanas laid the initial foundations for some of the early caves at Ajanta. These caves served as monastic retreats and are famous for their frescoes and sculptures. Example, Cave 9 and 10, 9, of Ajanta caves were patronized by Shatavahanas. Third is development of intricate carvings, reliefs, and sculptures. The period saw the creation of numerous Buddha and Bodhisattva statues, reflecting both the Hinayana and Mahayana traditions. These sculptures were characterized by their serene expressions and intricate detailing. Example found in the Amaravati and Nagarjunakonda sites. Contributions to Hindu art and architecture. First one is patronage of Hindu temples. The Shatavahanas were instrumental in the early development of Hindu temple architecture. The temples dedicated to deities like Shiva, Vishnu, and other regional gods were constructed, marking the beginning of this temple building tradition in the Deccan region. Example, temple complex at Sri Shailam. Second is integration of Hindu iconography and themes in art. Ellora Caves. The Shatavahanas contributed to the early phase of Ellora Caves, which later became a major site for Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain rock cut architecture. Example, Cave 29, known as Dumar Lena. Cave 29, known as Dumar Lena, contains early examples of Hindu rock cut architecture influenced by Shatavahana styles. Second is Yaksha and Yakshi figures. Shatavahana art often included elaborate carvings of Yakshas and Yakshis, indicative of the integration of indigenous deities and fertility symbols into mainstream Hindu worship. Example found in places like Amaravati. Third is documentation of patronage and endowments. Many Shatavahana inscriptions document patronage and endowments to Hindu religious institutions. Example, the inscriptions in the Nasik caves detail donations made by Shatavahana rulers and merchants to support religious activities and infrastructure. For this fusion of architectural styles, the Shatavahanas facilitated a fusion of architectural styles, integrating indigenous elements with influences from other cultures. This is evident in their construction of both Buddhist and Hindu structures, where local traditions blended with artistic motifs from the Greco-Bactrian and Persian influences. Shatavahana Empire. You can see the Shatavahana Empire here. Okay. Pradishtan, Asmaga, Amaravati, Vidarbha, Muluka, Anuba, Saurashtra, Avanti, Malwa, Utkala, Kalinga. Okay. Conclusion. The architectural legacy of the Shatavahanas laid the foundation for the distinctive regional styles that would emerge in later centuries as successive dynasties built upon the technical and stylistic innovations pioneered during the Shatavahana period. General Studies 2. Topic is e-governance applications. E-governance applications. Question 3. Technological innovations, particularly e-governance, have significantly transformed the functioning of government and its interaction with citizens in India. Critically comment. Okay. By this question, students from rural areas say that Bengal's college admission portal is widening the digital divide. Key demand of this question is to critically comment on how technological innovations, particularly e-governance, have transformed government functioning and citizens' interaction in India. Directive, critically comment, evaluate both the positive impacts and the limitations of technological innovations and e-governance in transforming government functions. Okay, structure of the answer. Introduction. Briefly define e-governance and technological innovations in the context of government functioning. Body. First part, transformation through technological innovations such as improved service delivery, enhanced transparency, increased accessibility, efficiency gains. Second part, critical challenges and limitations such as digital divide, infrastructure issues, data security and privacy concerns, technical literacy. Third part is practical suggestions. Conclusion, highlight the ongoing challenges and suggest the need for addressing these issues to ensure inclusive and effective governance. Introduction. E-governance involves using digital tools like the internet and mobile devices to deliver government services and information to the public. E-governance involves using digital tools like the internet and mobile devices to deliver government services and information to the public. Initiated in 2006, the National E-Governance Plan (NEGP) aimed to unify various e-governance efforts under a cohesive vision. E-governance, transforming government functions and citizen engagement. E-governance, transforming government functions and citizen engagement. Okay, benefits of e-governance. ICT enabled connected governance to contribute Sorry. ICT enabled connected governance contributes to internally and externally. Okay, internally, avoidance of duplication, reducing transaction costs, simplifying bureaucratic procedures, greater efficiency, greater coordination and communication, enhanced transparency, information sharing between agencies, security of information management. Externally, faster service delivery, greater efficacy, increased flexibility of service use, innovation in service delivery, greater participation, greater citizen empowerment, citizen citizen partnership participation. Okay, first one is transparency and accountability. E-governance has enhanced transparency by enabling citizens to access services, track applications, and learn about government policies, thus holding officials accountable. Example: filling filing of right to information RTA applications digitally. Second is efficiency and cost savings. Automation and improved communication through technology have streamlined operations, resulting in time and cost savings for both the government and citizens. Example: Jan Dhan Yojana focuses on financial inclusion by facilitating the opening of bank accounts for all citizens. Third one is ease of living. E-governance simplifies access to services and makes processes more efficient and transparent. Example: National Portal of India. National Portal of India offers centralized access to government services and information such as passport applications, PAN card registration, and birth or death certificate services. Fourth is citizen engagement. Reduced need for physical office visits has improved access to remote and underprivileged areas, increasing citizen participation and government accountability. Example: e-district project provides a one-stop platform for various government services. E-district project provides a one-stop platform for various government services, including land records, caste, and marriage certificates. Fifth is government functions. E-governance has improved service delivery, resource management, self-service, autonomy, and reduced management time and costs. Example: UMANG, UMANG app offers over 1,000 government services across central, state, and local levels. Potential negative impacts of e-governance. Okay, first one is digital divide. Unequal access to technology can limit participation in e-governance. Example: Oxfam report highlights that only 24% of rural households has had internet access to as compared to 67% cities. Oxfam report highlights that only 24% of rural households had internet access as compared to 67% in cities. Two, data privacy and security. Concerns about the collection and storage of personal data and vulnerability to cyber attacks. Example: IRCTC saving passenger data in insurance portal. Third, technology dependence. Reliance on technology can pose risks if systems fails or internet access is unreliable. Example: during internet shutdowns. For this, illiteracy. Digital illiteracy. An e-government site does not offer the potential to reach many users that have low literacy levels and exist on poverty line incomes. Example: remote tribal areas. Practical suggestions. First one is adopt a hybrid approach. Enhance interoperability among e-governance applications by integrating centralized systems for document, knowledge, file, and grievance management. Second is focus on rural initiatives. Tailor e-governance projects to rural areas by understanding and addressing local realities. Example: students from rural areas say that Bengal's college admission portal is widening digital divide. Third is develop capacity building mechanisms. Create effective, practical, and distinct training programs for various stakeholders, including bureaucrats, rural and urban populations, and elected officials. Fourth one is leverage cloud computing. Use cloud technology to improve e-governance services, reduce costs, enable new services, enhance education, and generate employment opportunities. Example: Megrai GI Cloud exemplifies this approach by optimizing ICT spending. Meghraj GI Cloud exemplifies this approach by optimizing ICT spending and speeding up e-service delivery. Fifth one is regional language support. Implement e-governance solutions in regional languages to better serve India's diverse linguistic population. Conclusion: e-governance is getting momentum in India, but public awareness and the digital divide are important issues to be addressed. Okay, next topic is role of civil services in a democracy. Question 4: discuss the key issues affecting the recruitment process for civil services in India. Suggest measures to address them. It's a 150 word 10 marker question. Okay, why this question? Pooja Gedkar's entry into civil services calls into question the recruitment process. Key demand of this question is to discuss the key issues affecting the recruitment process for civil servants in India and suggest measures to address them. Directive: discuss, present the issues and suggest practical measures to tackle them. Structure of the answer should be in IBC format. Introduction: briefly outline the importance of transparent and effective civil service recruitment process in India. Body: first part, key issues. What are the key issues? Such as lack of transparency and accountability, bias and subjectivity concerns, lengthy and complex process, inequality in access, overemphasis on examination marks, unambiguous quotas, and lack of stringent verification. Second part is suggested measures. Okay, what are the suggested measures? Propose measurements to address each key issue, such as reforms in examination patterns, better representation policies, and streamlined processes. Conclusion: emphasize the need for reforms to ensure a fair, transparent, and effective recruitment process for civil services. Introduction: a transparent and effective recruitment process for civil services is crucial for maintaining the integrity and efficiency of governance in India. Recently, an IAS officer was suspended for faking mental illness, visual impairment to get reserved quota. Her entry in civil services calls into question the recruitment process. Key issues affecting the recruitment process. First one is lack of transparency and accountability. The civil service recruitment process often lacks transparency, leading to questions about fairness and bias. Second is bias and subjectivity concerns. Subjective evaluation in interviews and assessments can lead to inconsistencies and favoritism. Third is lengthy and complex process. The recruitment process is lengthy, involving multiple stages, which can cumbersome and discouraging for candidates. Fourth one is inequality in access. Disparities in access to resources and coaching facilities impact candidates from less privileged backgrounds. Fifth one is overemphasis on examination marks. The focus on examination scores can overshadow other important attributes such as practical experience and interpersonal skills. Sixth is unclear quotas and verification issues, unambiguities in quota implementation, and inadequate verification processes led to inconsistencies and disputes. Okay, what are the civil service reforms? Civil service reforms. First one is in structure, then recruitment, capacity building. Fourth one is performance and promotion. Fifth one is professionalism and modernity. Sixth one is accountability. Suggested measures. First one is enhance transparency. Implement transparent procedures and responsiveness to students' core concerns to ensure fairness and accountability. Example, responding to students' concerns over CSAT paper. Second, reduce subjectivity. Standardize interview processes and establish clear criteria to minimize bias. Third, streamline the process. Simplify and expedite the recruitment stages to make the process more efficient. Fourth one is improve access. Provide equal access to coaching and preparatory resources to underprivileged candidates. Example, a national university to coach civil service aspirants. Fifth one is to host holistic evaluation. Incorporate a broader evaluation framework that considers practical experience and skills beyond exam marks. Sixth is clarify and verify quotas. Establish clear guidelines for quota implementation and strengthen verification mechanisms to ensure compliance. Conclusion: reforming the civil service recruitment process is essential to ensure fairness, transparency, and efficiency. By addressing these key issues, the process can become more inclusive and effective, reflecting the true merit and capabilities of candidates. General Studies 3. Topic: Indian economy and taxation. Question 5. Analyze the implications of imposing GST on health and life insurance premiums in India. Should the GST rates be rationalized to make insurance more affordable? Discuss. Why this question? There is an ongoing debate in India about the impact of goods and service taxes (GST) on health and life insurance premiums. Opposition leaders and industry stakeholders have raised concerns about the 18% GST making insurance less affordable, especially amid rising medical costs and inflation. This has prompted calls for the government to reconsider the current GST rates on insurance policies. Key demand of this question is to assess the impact of the current GST on health and life insurance premiums and discuss whether there is a need to rationalize GST rates to enhance insurance affordability in India. Structure of the answer. Introduction. Briefly explain the current GST rate on health and life insurance premiums and its impact on the cost of insurance policies. Current scenario. Mention the increase in premiums due to GST and its effect on insurance affordability. Next, mention the concerns raised by opposition leaders and industry stakeholders. Second, implications of GST on insurance. Mention how GST affects the insurance penetration in India, particularly for health and life insurance. Second, consider the impact on vulnerable populations, including senior citizens and those seeking micro insurance policies. Arguments for rationalizing GST. Mention the potential benefits of reducing GST rates, such as increased affordability and higher insurance penetration. Provide examples from other countries with lower or no GST on insurance products. Counter arguments. Mention the government's revenue considerations and the challenges of implementing tax rate changes. Conclusion. Emphasize the need for a balanced approach that addresses affordability concerns while considering the broader fiscal implications for the government. Okay, introduction. The goods and service tax GST is levied on various goods and services, including health and life insurance premiums in India. Currently, the GST rate on insurance premiums is 18%. This has raised concerns about the affordability of insurance, especially in a country where insurance penetration is still relatively low. Body. Implications of imposing GST on health and life insurance premiums. Implications of imposing GST on health and life insurance premiums. First is increased cost of insurance. The addition of 18% GST on insurance premiums increases the overall cost for policy holders, making insurance less affordable. Impact on insurance penetration. High GST rates can deter individuals from opting for insurance, thus hampering efforts to increase insurance penetration in the country. Example, the Life Insurance Council has pointed out that the high GST on premiums is a barrier to increasing insurance coverage among the population, particularly in rural areas where affordability is a significant concern. Effect on health insurance accessibility. The imposition of GST makes health insurance policies more expensive, potentially putting them out of reach for those who need them the most. Second, should GST rates be rationalized? Arguments for rationalizing GST rates. Encouraging insurance uptake. Lowering the GST rate on health and life insurance premiums could make insurance more affordable, leading to greater uptake of policies and thereby increasing insurance penetration across the country. Relief for middle and lower income groups. Rationalizing GST rates would provide financial relief to middle and lower income groups. Alignment with social objectives. Rationalizing GST on these services aligns with the government's broader objectives of providing financial protection and security to all citizens. Challenges in rationalizing GST rates. Revenue considerations. The government relies on GST revenue, and lowering rates on insurance premiums might lead to a reduction in tax collections. Administrative complexity. Implementing a differential GST rate for insurance premiums could add complexity to the tax system, making it more challenging to administer and enforce compliance. Conclusion. The imposition of GST on health and life insurance premiums increases the cost of essential financial products, potentially limiting their accessibility, especially for middle and lower income groups. Given the importance of insurance in providing financial security and managing healthcare costs, rationalizing GST rates could make insurance more affordable and accessible, contributing to higher insurance penetration in India. Next topic, environmental conservation. Question 6. Examine the rising threat of ground level ozone pollution in urban India. Also discuss the measures required to tackle this invisible hazard effectively. Okay, why this question? Recent findings from the CSE highlight a dangerous increase in ground level ozone pollution across major Indian cities, posing significant health risks, particularly to those with respiratory conditions. This has raised concerns about the current air quality management strategies and the need for stricter regulations. Key demand of this question is to analyze the growing issue of ground level ozone pollution in India, its health implications, and the necessary regulatory and policy interventions to control this pollutant. Structure of the answer. Introduction. Define ground level ozone pollution and its sources, emphasizing its increasing prevalence in Indian cities. Second, body current scenario. Overview of the CSE report findings on ozone pollution exceedances in various cities. Health risks associated with prolonged exposure to ground level ozone. Challenges: inadequate monitoring and data collection. Complexity of ozone chemistry and its interaction with other pollutants like NOx, nitrogen oxides. Required measures: strengthening regulations to curb nitrogen oxides emissions from vehicles and industries, implementing a pollutant control strategy under the National Clean Air Program (NCAP), enhancing monitoring infrastructure and real-time data analysis. Conclusion: emphasize the need for immediate action and stringent regulations to mitigate the health hazards posed by ground level ozone pollutions in India. Okay, introduction. Ground level ozone pollution, a critical component of urban smog, has emerged as a growing concern in urban India. Unlike stratospheric ozone, which protects against harmful UV radiation, ground level ozone is a harmful pollutant formed by the reaction of sunlight with pollutants like nitrogen oxides, NOx, and volatile organic compounds, VOCs. This invisible hazard poses significant risks to human health, the environment, and agricultural productivity. Okay, body. Rising threat of ground level ozone pollution in urban India. Causes and sources. Ground level ozone forms through photochemical reactions involving nitrogen oxides and VOCs, which are emitted from vehicles. VOCs means volatile organic compounds, okay, which are emitted from vehicles, industrial processes, power plants, and the burning of fossil fuels. Urban areas with their high traffic density and industrial activities are particularly prone to this type of pollution. Example, cities like Delhi, Mumbai, and Bengaluru have reported increasing levels of ground level ozone, especially during the summer months when intense sunlight accelerates its formation. Health impacts. Exposure to high levels of ground level ozone can lead to respiratory problems, aggravate conditions like asthma, and reduce lung function. Long-term exposure can contribute to chronic respiratory diseases and even premature death. Example, studies have shown that the people living in cities with high ozone levels experience high rates of hospital admissions for respiratory issues, particularly among vulnerable populations like children and the elderly. Environmental and agricultural impact. Ground level ozone not only affects human health but also harms vegetation, reducing crop yields and damaging forests. It interferes with photosynthesis, stunts plant growth, and weakens resistance to diseases. Example, research in India has indicated that ozone pollution could reduce wheat and rice yields by 10 to 30%, posing a significant threat to food security. Measures required to tackle ground level ozone pollution. Measures required to tackle ground level ozone pollution. First is reducing emissions from key sources. To combat ozone pollution, it is essential to reduce emissions of nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds from vehicles, industries, and power plants. This can be achieved by implementing stricter emission norms, promoting cleaner technologies, and transitioning to renewable energy sources. Example, the implementation of Bharat Stage 6, BS6 emission standards for vehicles in India aims to reduce nitrogen oxides emissions significantly, helping to curb ozone formation. Next is improving public transport and promoting sustainable mobility. Expanding and improving public transport systems can reduce the reliance on private vehicles, thereby lowering nitrogen oxides and VOC emissions. Encouraging the use of electric vehicles, EVs, and non-motorized transport options like cycling and walking can further reduce pollution. Examples, cities like Pune and Chennai have launched initiatives to improve public transport and promote EVs, contributing to a reduction in urban air pollution. Strengthening air quality monitoring and forecasting. Enhanced monitoring of ozone levels and accurate forecasting can help in taking timely actions to mitigate the effects of pollution. Example, the National Air Quality Index, AQI, in India includes ozone as one of the monitored pollutants, providing real-time data to the public. However, there is a need for more extensive monitoring networks, especially in smaller cities. Enforcing industrial regulations and promoting cleaner technologies. Industries should be encouraged or mandated to adopt cleaner technologies and processes that reduce the release of nitrogen oxides and VOCs. Strict enforcement of environmental regulations is critical to ensuring compliance. Example, the use of scrubbers, catalytic converters, and other emission control technologies in industries can help minimize the release of ozone precursors. Agricultural practices and biofuel use. Next is agricultural practices and biofuel use. Changes in agricultural practices, such as the reduction of crop residue burning, can significantly reduce VOC emissions. Similarly, the use of cleaner biofuels can help mitigate rural contributions to ozone pollution. Example, the promotion of no-burn farming techniques in Punjab and Haryana has shown promise in reducing emissions that contribute to ozone formation. Conclusion, ground level ozone pollution is an emerging threat in urban India. Ground level ozone pollution is an emerging threat in urban India with serious implications for public health, the environment, and agriculture. Addressing this challenge requires a multi-pronged approach, including reducing emissions from key sources, improving public transport, enhancing air quality monitoring, and promoting cleaner technologies in industries. General studies for corruption and value ethics. Topics is corruption and value ethics. There is a common question 7. There is a common feeling that there has been a gradual erosion of cultural values, resulting in a widespread culture of corruption, with personal interest taking precedence over the public good in all spheres of life. Comment. It's a 10-marker question. Okay, why this question? 8 years after conducting its preliminary inquiry, the CBI has booked the country's leading aluminum producer, Hindalco of the Aditya Birla Group, for alleged corruption in getting environmental clearance for coal mining between. Okay, introduction. Begin by defining corruption or the meaning of the culture of corruption. In body, first explain why the culture of corruption is increasing lately. Then explain which value declined. has been leading to such a condition. Mention how to eradicate corruption in India. In conclusion, summarize by writing an ethical philosophy or quote. Okay, introduction. Corruption is the abuse of power for personal gain, undermining the integrity of institutions and eroding public trust. Corruption is the abuse of power for personal gain, undermining the integrity of institutions and eroding public trust. A culture of corruption refers to a societal norm where corrupt practices are widespread and often normalized, reflecting a systemic failure to uphold ethical values. Decline in values leading to corruption. Integrity erosion. First one is integrity erosion, then lack of accountability, then public trust deficit. Then next reason is ethical complacency, then lack of compassion, then legal framework weakness. Okay, the reasons behind the increasing culture of corruption are weak governance structures, inadequate enforcement of laws and lack of stringent accountability mechanisms allow corrupt practices to flourish with minimal consequences. Example, Article 311, which provides job security for officials. Then second reason, economic disparities. Social and economic inequalities create opportunities for individuals with power or wealth to exploit their positions for personal gain. Example, official discretions. Third reason is political interference. Political patronage and misuse of office for personal or party benefits lead to systemic corruption, undermining public trust in institutions. Example, Mumbai Home Minister monthly collection acquisition by Parambir Singh IPS. Okay. Fourth reason is bureaucratic inefficiency. The complex and opaque administrative processes provide fertile ground for corrupt practices, as individuals may resort to bribery to expedite or bypass procedures. Example, Delhi bureaucrats misusing ground for a dog walk. Sixth reason is cultural normalization. A prevailing attitude that everyone does it contributes to a normalized acceptance of corruption, reducing the perceived seriousness of unethical behavior. Example, collusive corruption like in the Karnataka Valmiki Corporation case. Okay, what are the measures to eradicate corruptions in India? Measures to eradicate corruption in India are: first, strengthen institutions, enhance the effectiveness and independence of oversight bodies like the CVC and CBI to ensure thorough and unbiased investigations. Example, ED and CBI actively exposing Delhi liquor scam. Second is promote transparency, implement e-governance and digital platforms to reduce human intervention and opportunities for corruption. Increase transparency in decision-making processes and financial disclosures. Example, e-Pragati portal. Third one is reform political and administrative systems. Introduce stricter anti-corruption laws, ensure fair and merit-based recruitment and promotions, and limit political interference in administrative matters. Example, CAG transfer and posting guidelines on officials. Fourth reason is foster ethical values. Invest in ethics training and education for public officials, and promote a culture of accountability and transparency through public awareness campaigns. Example, Mission Karma Yogi to train officers. Fifth reason is, fifth measure is protect whistleblowers. Strengthen legal protections for whistleblowers to encourage reporting of corruption activities without fear of retaliation or adverse consequences. Example, prevent victimizing of whistleblowers. Conclusion, combating the culture of corruption necessitates a dedicated effort to reinstate ethical values and integrity. As Mahatma Gandhi wisely noted, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Emphasizing ethical behavior and public service can help rebuild trust and foster a more transparent, accountable society. Okay, thank you for listening me. We'll see you in next class. Okay, bye.